Hello, everyone. My name is Peter Kinkaide. I'm the CEO of Raintree Financial Solutions, and today I'm joined by my friend Jason Jogia, the Chief Investment Officer at the Avenue Living Core Trust. Hi, Jason. How you doing?
Peter, thank you. How are you?
I'm excellent, thanks. Jason, can you start by just giving us a quick overview of the Avenue Living Core Trust?
Absolutely. So Avenue Living Core Trust is a $1.4 billion entity that invests in multifamily in the prairies, so Alberta, Saskatchewan, and Manitoba. About half of our portfolio sits in Calgary, Edmonton, Regina, Saskatoon, and Winnipeg, the primary markets, and then the other half would be in secondary markets like Lethbridge, Alberta, Red Deer, Alberta, or Swift Current, Alberta, or Saskatchewan, or Yorkton, Saskatchewan. We focus on multifamily workforce housing, and to define that, that is the B and C class low-rise apartments, townhouses that are typically types of property that you drive by every single day. And the tenant profile is the type of tenant that lives there by necessity, not necessarily by choice, as the affordability to buy is just simply not an option.
That's great. And so tell me over the last year, because you've been in business, this fund is in business for a number of years, but tell me over the last year, what are you most excited about achieving?
Absolutely. Just in the year that went by, and then maybe the last 6 quarters, we've really grown our focus and our spans in this territory. We've invested in our platform. We're a very tech-forward company. We have basically purchased over 2,000 doors across the prairies. We're the second largest building owner in Canada. We have made a business out of managing low-density apartments, and we're the only company in Canada that has publicly stated that we're the workforce housing specialist. And really that means is that we can manage wide and not high, and we use technology to be able to scale that business very efficiently. We've also invested in the portfolio. I'm proud to say that we've invested over $100 million in capex in the portfolio, and we've been able to raise our rental rates substantially as an outcome of that. So we're very excited of everything that we've done over the last 6 quarters, coming into COVID, and we'll talk about that, that has set this platform up for the future. And now that we're near 10,000 units and 1.4 billion, we see a lot of opportunity ahead of us.
That's great. And so you mentioned COVID, and it's on everyone's mind still. How's that impacted your business? Can you just tell me about what you did to adjust for the pandemic that we're dealing with?
Absolutely. So Q1 2020, we had a very robust acquisition pipeline. We were executing on it. We were also doing a robust capital expenditure program on our new acquisitions and some of our existing doors. And so when COVID hit and was upon us, the management team and the senior C-suite team here pivoted. We pivoted on the business to ensure that we had all the tools in place to survive a prolonged retraction in the economy. And so what we ended up doing is, number one, we suspended our acquisition program. We tempered down our unnecessary capex or investment capex program. We really focused in on having our teams being able to work remotely from home as necessary, and be able to still provide the necessary services our residents require, because our residents who are living in our apartment dwellings, they require a certain level of standard of care to continue to successfully live there. So we doubled up on our PP&E, we put in logbooks, we set up different task force, we made sure that our 20,000 residents that we served were taken care of. And by doing that, we ensured that when it came time to paying the rent, that we were on front of mind with them and that they were paying. And I am proud to say that over the course of Q2, our collections were over 97% month over month and on average. And that is very exciting for us, and just proves the thesis of our business that when you work with essential workers and the frontliners, their jobs are resilient and they have the affordability level with what they spend. And those who have lost their jobs, supported by government stimulus, has enabled them to continue to pay their rent. So they go to that primal need of housing. So all the work that Avenue did with the operations, the financial acumen and discipline that we did to be able to service our continued business needs has proven very fruitful for Q2.
That's excellent. I have to say that I really admire how you've communicated with all of your stakeholders, whether it's us as an investment dealer, our financial advisors staying apprised, but even your tenants. I mean, it really seems like you've taken a lot of care in how you communicate with all of your stakeholders. Can you talk about how you deal with that?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, duty of care is one of our main values or core principal values here at Avenue Living. And really, essentially, when we went into this, it was a time that, when you're the second largest building owner in the country and you have 20,000 people, maybe more, living under your roof, you need to be able to take the fear out of them. And anything that we could have done to be proactive with saying, do you need support? Do you need us to come and help you with the pet? Are you an older person that needs us to pick up your groceries? Whatever it may be, we are there for you. And that has really showcased to our resident populace that we are in command and control of our business and we are a good operator. That has paid the dividends that we're talking about. In terms of our stakeholders, whether it be, lenders or our equity participants, we come at that community with one voice. And that voice is just prudent operators and owners of our business, where our management team sits shoulder to shoulder with our equity holders and have investments in here. Our founders, who are still very active in the business, are the largest single shareholder in our business. So all of that makes this very personal and made it very much front and center of how we went into business during this time.
Well, that's good. You did a great job. So just a question though, you mentioned that you're the second largest building owner in the country. What's that based on? Is that based on square feet or doors? How do
Yeah,
you?
actual buildings, physical buildings. So
Physical
we own
buildings.
450 buildings
Oh, wow.
in the prairies, and we are continuing to grow. We see a lot of opportunity to continue to grow.
That's excellent. So let's talk about that. So what's next? What are you excited for the rest of this year and heading into 2021?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, as you may see in this video, we're back in the office here. I think we were just mentioning that we have about 85% of our workforce is in office physically. Those who have to take public transport or have the option to work from home, and those who are high risk are still working from home. We're taking all the right precautions. So it feels like business as usual for Avenue Living now, after going through one full quarter of COVID, and actually a little longer than that, and starting to see our financial results. We see that, our business and the philosophy and the thesis behind it continue to hold. The elasticity of our tenant profile is very strong. And so we're excited to go back into growth mode. And really our goal is for 2020 and 2021 to continue to buy. We've identified over 6,000 units that we could buy in the prairies, a lot of that in Edmonton, where you are, a lot of that in Calgary, a lot of that in Saskatoon and Regina, but then there's a lot of that in the secondary and tertiary markets that we service, like the Lethbridges of the world. So we are really excited to get back on the buy. It's a function of capital because we managed to service our redemptions and our distributions and of all of our stakeholders in terms of the lending community. Capital's become available to us. So we continue to be able to raise and accretively deploy into acquisitions. I'm proud to say that we purchased over 200 doors in the end of Q2. So right on the end of Q2, we bought over 200 doors, and we've got probably another 300 to 400 gated for Q3. So all else being equal, if we continue to hold the fundamentals of our business where they are and we can service our residents, get our collections in, and continue to accrete our values, we will continue the growth plan of our business.
Excellent. Jason, thanks so much for your time today. For those listening and watching, if you'd like to learn more, we're going to be hosting a webinar shortly, and we look forward to answering any questions that you might have. Thanks, Jason, for your time today.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody.